just continuing to find what you personally want to do and create your own opinions about things. It's really easy to just be a follower of what everyone else is doing and not necessarily create your own ideas of what you want to do, or sitting down with yourself and literally being like, what do I want to do in the next 5 years? We get so wrapped up in our everydays, and like to, I guess, give young girls hope is like the only thing that I really, really try to do every single day. I think we're also in a time on the internet right now where everyone's trying really hard to be authentic. And when you're trying really hard to be authentic, it usually comes off as inauthentic. And so we're excited to share like actual authentic articles.
Adrian retired actually from us. He was with me all day, every day. And then one day he was like, no,
for 5.5 years.
Was it all day, every day for 5.5 years?
Wow.
Yeah. We have a long standing relationship.
We were like SpongeBob and Patrick. We just were inseparable.
Yes, exactly. Exactly like that. All right. Today's guest is a 19-year-old social media mogul already owning two real estate how many real estate properties do you own? None. With over 12.5 million followers and counting every single day across all platforms, she is the definition of business of influence. So today we're going to dive into the beginning of her journey, talk about what business she's building now behind the scenes, and convince her to get into real estate with the best brokerage in the world. Ellie Zeiler, right?
Zeiler. Yes.
Ellie Zeiler and Mia Meltzer. Welcome to the business of influence. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was the best intro ever. I want to step into every room and have you say that. Yeah.
You can do that actually now. Like you can have theme music.
In-person cameo.
Yes. Right? I just hack into people's Sonoses and just have theme music all the time. Because we do that for properties, right? Like, you have like the closing music when people are coming through. It can't be too loud or too crazy. Like, this song.
Set the mood.
Do you do bar mitzvahs?
I don't do bar mitzvahs. Okay. No. Do you?
No.
How'd you two meet?
So Ellie and I actually grew up right next door to each other in San Diego. When she was 3 months old, I was 3 years old. And we've been best friends since.
No, are you 23?
I'm 22.
22.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how math works.
So let's break this down. Let's break this down. You guys grew up together, pre-social media. What are you guys like? You guys best friends, inseparable? What's the vibe?
She's my little sister's age, and I had girls on our street who were my age. So we actually ran in kind of different circles. I actually think there was a point in time where I cut Ellie's hair with scissors, and I have a vivid memory of her dad with the scissors in his hand, like, do not ever touch my daughter's hair ever again or else. And from that moment on, I think I was actually scared of not only her parents, but her too, until we grew up and we realized we were actually like so much more similar than we thought we were.
But we just recently reconnected after I've kind of gotten to a certain place in my career, and Mia just graduated college and is at a certain place at her career. And so we are now mending together, putting our brains together.
And now we're best friends, and she's stuck with me forever.
And now you're both in New York.
No.
So I'm from San Diego. I moved to LA a couple of years ago, and she lives in the city now. And I'm hoping to move here in the next few months, I wish, but
really?
I know it's going to be like a year.
That's how we recruit her to work for us.
Have you started looking at apartments?
Please. I haven't. We were just talking about this. This is great timing.
He's like, his eyes are lighting up like, oh my God, I have business.
No, I don't do rentals anymore, but Andy over here.
Maybe they're buying rentals.
Oh, what do you mean rentals?
Let's talk to your dad.
They have 2 rental properties.
Let's talk to good old David, right?
Yeah.
We'll sit down at one of those dinners.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could go for another nice catch steak.
Yes. We talked about buying you an apartment.
We did talk about that.
Pre-COVID. We talked about that, actually. I was talking to her dad about buying an apartment, and then but COVID was so weird because the market was bad, and the next day it wasn't. And they could have gotten a good deal at that time.
They bought a house in Indiana instead of an apartment in New York. For me. For me. But it would have been more beneficial later on to have that. That nice apartment in New York would have been nice.
Got it. Well, when you're ready, we are.
When Ellie's ready,
I'm ready. I'm ready to buy, honestly.
So tell us about your social media journey. Pre-pandemic, were you guys making content? Because I know a lot of people hopped on the train during the pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. I know it's kind of a cliche story at this point, but I was a part of that train. I was always really interested in content creation before I made it my full-time job. And at the time when I first started social media, I was 16 in high school. We'd gone into quarantine. I'd always been interested in making YouTube videos and making content and being on TV and different things like that. But I was always a little scared of kids and being in high school, and I really didn't have that much time to do it as well. So when we went into quarantine, I had, everything broke loose in our family and in our household. And so I finally had time to make TikToks, and I was really lucky to have the first few TikToks that I posted go viral. And from that point on, I saw it as an opportunity and something that I always wanted to do. So that's how I really, really started a few years ago.
So you said you were scared of kids, like scared of bullying or scared of people's impressions or commenting? And
honestly, all of it. I really was. I mean, I would put so much effort into making content and making YouTube videos before it was popular. I always say it's so cool. A few years ago, it was not. I would go to high school and be so made fun of for doing whatever I was doing and instantly take it down. Looking back, it's, one of my biggest regrets. So I try to push that idea forward to the younger generation of obviously not being scared of other people, which is so much easier said than done. But yeah, in the moment, it was other people.
So you
mean.
did start making videos on YouTube then, right?
Yes. And then I was just take it down. I was just always very interested in being creative and sharing who I was on the internet, which was not a concept that we all knew about 5 years ago.
And how has that translated to your businesses today?
Well, I think that for me, it's very interesting because even at the beginning, when I saw it as this opportunity and I've taken it into different business ventures as I've gone along, I always saw it as something that if I can create this audience that loves me so much and will follow me anywhere, ultimately, when I decide what I want to do, they will come with me. And so that's why I think we're really excited to be here, because we finally have gotten to that place of really wanting to create something to share to my audience. So I think that's how I saw it as a business right from the start.
Yeah, it's something we talk about a lot, and how to take an audience and turn the audience into a community.
For sure.
And how you turn the community into a customer.
So true. And it's really hard. Audience isn't always a follower. We see, blah, blah, blah has 10 million followers. You don't know if those people are really, really following you, especially if I think I've tried my whole career to never sell too many products or be cheesy about too many different things or ever try to promote something that I didn't really, really love. Again, kind of a cliche concept that I think a lot of people say, but not a lot of people do right now.
So you didn't quote unquote sell out. You kind of just did the things that were authentic to you because you saw the long term.
Exactly.
This is what I want to do. I want to stay true so that when that moment does come, my audience is ride or die for me.
Exactly.
Got it. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
When did you realize that you're in high school, you're creating content, it's working, maybe you don't go to college, maybe you do this full time? It's
funny because that sentence in itself, still hearing that kind of gives me a little bit of PTSD.
Because you're only 19.
I'd be a sophomore right now, just starting a sophomore year in college. So, I still have time. But with that being said, similar to me not being able to fully be myself, I guess, in high school, I also went to a high school where it was if you didn't have a 4.5 and wanted to go to Harvard and wanted to be a doctor, then you were just a failure in my high school and in my community. And so to ever get through those 4 years of high school and admit to myself that I didn't really want to go to college was really scary. So I did actually apply to a lot of schools, and I went through the whole application process and I got into a lot of schools. It was sitting in that classroom realizing that especially the first couple of years of college were, for my peers around me, a place where they could figure out what they wanted to do with their life. And I'm sitting in this class being I can't wait until this class is over so I can do what I want to do right now for my life. And I think, I applaud my parents for kind of getting out of that rat race of being so scared for me to I'm not kidding. I've just gotten in the past 6 months or less to be able to sit and talk to a grown adult and have them ask me where do you go to school? And me to say, I don't go to school, I work full time. And I think like it was me being surrounded by people that didn't necessarily know what they wanted to do yet, which is fine. Like I have so many friends and so many people that don't know what they want to do. And I think college is a great place for that to happen. But for my story, I guess it wasn't. And I finally just got to that place.
Oh, congrats. Look
Yeah.
at that.
That's crazy that like you are so like you're beyond your years. Like you don't strike me as a 19-year-old girl.
I
Like,
feel like I'm 45.
I feel like
Truly.
she's older than I
really
am.
I look like I'm 45.
I'm at 19. I was having a kid at 19. That's crazy.
Adrian has so many kids.
I have two. Relax. Calm down there, buckaroo. But it's just like I was not thinking that way at 19, which is crazy. And like, I don't know. Real quick, walk us through. You're 16. You're just getting into this world. You're picking up traction on social. 17, you buy your first property. Is that kind of what I read?
Yes.
How did that come about? Break that down for me. Because at 17, I was not thinking about buying real estate.
I have to like,
Where'd the money come from?
well, let me just explain. First of
Okay.
all, as soon as I hear,
Good thing we're doing a podcast.
I mean, I instantly like hear that and I have to give props to my parents because I, at 17, would not know that that is what I should be doing with my money. How I got that money was from my social media career. And so doing brand deals, having partnerships with brands. And so as soon as I saw any money in my bank account, my dad was like, I'm taking this and we're going to put it this way, because something that he always taught me is how important it is to have passive income.
Yeah.
And so we don't know how long this is going to last. Obviously, I'm really grateful like 3 years later that I get to still be doing this. But when TikTok was first starting in quarantine, no one had any idea what was going on. So yes, I took my money from my social media career, put it into real estate, and now it is there. Thank you to my parents for
Your
teaching
dad's
me
in real
that.
estate? Is that what I like?
Yes, my dad was in marketing and had many careers before. He is now doing what he's doing now. But right now he does real estate. And so
Nice. In
he
San Diego.
teaches me that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Did I read that you wanted to be in real estate?
From day one, my two favorite shows growing up were Million Dollar Listing, New York, especially. That's my
Thanks.
favorite one.
Thanks.
Just to
See, I told
clarify.
you.
Of course.
Yeah.
People know
And
you.
like Shark Tank. Those were my two favorite shows. So I'm very excited to be here.
Dang, that's crazy.
Nice. I walked by you on Sunday, didn't I?
We were literally in shock. We were like, no way, that's him. Yes, it was.
I walked
us.
by. Is that you and your mom?
Yeah, that was my mom.
Yeah,
and
I walked by you on Sunday outside the office.
They were just scoping out what was
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, we were like, I don't know.
They're like, what are we dealing with?
Making
over
sure they
here?
knew the directions, how to get here.
Yeah, we were so nervous. That's what we were doing.
Sunday's my my office day. So it's because no one else comes here. And so it's a day where I have 2,400 emails I have to respond to, like thinking about calendar, process, deal flow, all that stuff. Because once the week starts, then it's like 15 minutes to 15 minutes.
Wow.
Like this meeting is a 15-minute block for me.
Yeah.
And so then it's go, 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 pass
Wow.
out, wake up, go, 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 go. Sunday, what the fuck happened last week? And then pick up and plan for the week ahead.
That's
right. So
wild.
that's
I
what I
can't
do.
even imagine. Sundays, like, my lay in bed till 9 a.m.
I watched
day.
3 movies this Sunday:
What'd you watch?
Harry Potter,
Oh,
Les
God.
Mis,
Okay.
and
Okay, whatever.
Which
I didn't
Harry
ask.
I really
Notebook.
see that for you.
I watched the
Notebook?
Notebook for the first time ever.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Oh
you
my
cry?
gosh.
Yeah, the ending was. I'm not spoiling it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but the ending is tragic. It's
No,
happy
you're
though.
not, You're not spoiling it.
This is the first time you watched The Notebook?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you poor child.
But the first Harry Potter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going in order.
Did you
Yeah.
guys, not to go off topic, but you guys watch that new Adam Sandler family film? I thought it was great. I loved it. Was middle school like that for you guys?
I did not watch the
So,
film.
well, I think I can answer
can't
this.
contribute.
Like, at least where I think we grew up in San Diego, and especially where I grew up in Orange County, very small Jewish community, like almost nobody. In fact, people sometimes where I live, like aren't even fully educated about like, what do Jewish people celebrate? What do Jewish people believe in?
Yeah.
And because of that, I actually was never bar mitzvahed. I rarely got the chance to go to temple because the closest one was 30 minutes away.
Oh,
But I did go to school in the Midwest with a lot of like Long Island Jewish kids. And so the last name, so on brand. The bar mitzvahs, like I've been to some, they are just like that.
Yeah.
In the moms and the dad, like the whole family situation, like if I explain this to you, like everyone up your butt all the time, like your parents just like overly in your face about everything that you do and like taking it one step too far in your personal boundaries. That is exactly what it's like being in a Jewish family, going to bar mitzvahs, the parents get like way too drunk, the whole thing. It's so on brand. Adam Sandler killed it.
Awesome.
And I give it like, I think it has like 96 on Rotten Tomatoes. I'd keep it right there.
It's crushing. I think both daughters are going to have a great career.
Yeah.
I thought they absolutely murdered it. They're great.
Part of your new company should be movie reviews. That was the most intense movie review I've heard.
Okay.
In quite some time.
I'll keep that in mind.
So tell us about your schooling.
And what's your like relationship with social like media? Just out of curiosity. Sorry.
So embarrassing. But okay, so I went to Indiana University. I graduated high school 2019. I started in the fall. Don't ask me why I left Southern California to go to the Midwest, but it was the best decision ever, best 4 years of my life.
It's a big school.
It is. It was a very big school. And for like a California girl who kind of grew up in like the same two areas her whole life, so scary.
So much football.
There was a lot of football and we actually suck at it. And no one's mentioned that, but you got to keep doing it every Saturday to the point where like your stomach, everything just hurts all the time because it's just a lot of football. And we were just talking today, the Midwest food, the breadsticks, the cheese curds.
It's football and food all day long.
And beer. Like it's just, your stomach hurts all the time, but a great time. I graduated with a major in journalism and a minor in music. I thought I was going to do PR in the sports or music industry. My sophomore year of college, I started making TikToks. I was doing clothing hauls and Amazon hauls, and I kind of was doing it as a joke, like making fun of not making fun of people on the internet, but you know, like mocking the girl who I just saw. Like it's like Amazon hauls, like this shirt is so cute. And me and my friends kind of had fun doing it. And then all of a sudden one blew up, and Ellie's mom was actually helping me with the second, like trying to guide me in the right direction. And then at that point, I was going into my junior year, and a friend of a brother-in-law reached out. He's like, hey, I saw you're interested in fashion and beauty and this, like, and you love talking about it. Any chance you know how to write? I was like, actually, yeah, that's like all I know how to do. And so that's where Ellie and I came together on this business idea. I was writing these articles, and I think I'm really good at it. I didn't know that I was really good at it, but I came to terms with, wait, like, I think this is my thing, which was so not in my plan. And Ellie, one who knows all the best products, we came together and we were like, why not create a community to accurately and appropriately share these products that we love and we love to talk about. Nobody pays me to say that Lancome is the best skincare product to use on your skin. No one is paying me to do that.
Is it the best?
I don't know. I
think it is.
I think
He's a big skincare guy.
Ellie told me it was one of the best.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really great.
It's good.
Is it?
Lancome Genifique serum. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Plug.
I'll send you some.
But we wanted to create a platform where no one is telling us that we need to talk about these products, but mutually as two girls we've been through the acne, we've been through the breakups, we've been through it all. This is what we think is the best. And creating a community that people can trust what we're talking about, not just because it's a viral video or it's going to be controversial content, just a genuine, trustworthy platform that you can refer to as a young girl with way too much content on the internet. So,
and the company's called MUUZ.
MUUZ, MUUZ.
How'd you come up with that?
Well, I came to Mia and was like, I heard somewhere, probably from a TikTok, but I like to say an article, that every successful...
I've been telling my clients.
I read this in an
TikTok.
article. Yeah, no.
Oh, there's a guest appearance. Hello.
What is going on?
Hold on.
We just hide dogs in closets.
That's scary.
Oh my gosh.
It's a stairway. It's a stairway.
I love
Don't you think the person who owns that dog is like, where's my dog?
I know. You got a dog on aisle 1?
That's funny.
He's like, that's funny, but he has a pissed off face. That's funny.
He's scared of dogs.
I just don't know whose dog that is.
I know.
Random
revealed.
dogs running through here.
So his biggest fear.
So MUUZ, you read an article.
Okay, yes.
I read in an article,
On TikTok.
TikTok, that every successful website has double vowels. So like Google, Goop, Yahoo, a ton of a ton of things that have double whatever. Anyway, I came to me and was like, we need to have that in it.
And then we came up with this name, not MUUZ.
Hear me out. I read this article.
I read that you need to have
This
double
was a
letters.
conversation that we had over lunch, and we came up with this other name after Ellie told me this.
What was the
And
other name?
It was so bad.
It was
What
really
is
bad. It was Doop, like DOOP.
That would have been bad.
Because at the time,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you.
Don't do that.
At the time, it was like, you know those TikToks that are like, oh,
No, at
like
the time it was
Lululemon
nothing.
Dupe.
We
Like
just-
it was trending. Dupe was just
So
like
dumb.
the word, but it has such a negative connotation to it. So we went home. Side note: my mom and Ellie's mom are actually best friends too. Neighborhood
Aw.
moms, you know.
Love it.
And I came home and I'm like, we came up with the best idea ever. Our moms obviously hopped on the phone within 30 seconds of us telling, and we're just
like,
talking.
These two are bound
They're
for
yeah,
failure
like,
somehow.
And then my mom got off the phone and she's like, Sarah and I talked. And what do you think about MUUZ? And then later Ellie and I talked about it. So it goes all to our mamas. They're the best.
Okay.
And it just kind of stuck with us. And as we talked into it more, just the concept, like Ellie has grown up, you know, serving as a MUUZ to 11 million people now on the internet. And it's kind of cool because now we are taking all of the people who are on the internet and all of the things that they talk about. And in a way, now they're serving as like our MUUZ in this whole entire journey and all of the content that we create. And besides the fact that the web domain wasn't available for MUUZ, our web domain will be our MUUZ. And it kind of worked out because all of these people are our MUUZ. And so on all platforms.
So where are you on the business right now?
Big news today.
Oh,
Yeah, big news today.
Big news
Live.
today. Our website designer finally responded to us.
Let's go.
So
just responded.
we're
We know
really
the
getting
pain.
somewhere.
We know the pain.
Let's go.
No, but I had to be like kind of a harsh boss for the first time today and get on
Yeah.
the phone with the
Oh.
website designer because she told us we like had minor changes from the first edit, and she was like, "Oh, this will be 1 to 3 days." It turned out being like
11.
it was 11 days.
11 days.
So for the first time, I got on the phone and I was like, "That's actually not okay." And
She was the bad
this is-
cop, and I'm so proud of her.
That's right.
Thank
She did
you.
great. So MUUZ, the website is finished being
it's
designed.
up right now, isn't
It's
it?
been handed. No, whatever you saw on the internet is not our website.
What is? Oh, we went to
that-
our MUUZ earlier.
Oh yeah, no.
Did you? That's not.
It's not our website.
Ah.
We handed our website off to another company that I don't even feel like giving credit to
Yeah,
at the
that's-
moment. But a company helped us design our website, and they handed it back to us today, actually. And then we're gonna hopefully launch it within the next month and a half.
It's just gonna be nonstop content.
And it's just going to be nonstop, everything. Pinterest, website, TikTok, Instagram, all platforms.
So,
So-
what?
excited.
Sorry. What's the business? What's the business model? What's like? Is it a website? Do you buy off of it? Is it
Yeah.
Yeah,
affiliates?
that's actually
Like-
the question I was going to ask. If you could have a similar product to it, what is the inspiration for this product?
So it's basically, it's going to be a lifestyle blog. It's going to be a one-stop shop for young women, mostly Gen Z. All things lifestyle, travel, beauty, and most importantly, advice. So many times on the internet, you can find places to have advice for your first date, your first time, your first fight, your parent situations, difficult conversations. It's on the internet, but it's not done by 22-year-old,
Mhm.
19-year-old girls. It's done by 40-year-old women sitting on their couch blogging. Not that I'm writing anywhere different than my better couch, but we're going through similar things that these young 14, 18, 21-year-old girls are going through. And so it's supposed to be able to create a trustworthy platform that not only are we able to talk and serve as a MUUZ, but eventually this community can create and talk as well. Products, how to dress for prom, how to wear your hair for homecoming, what sweater to wear on your first date.
So you're the internet big sister.
Yes,
Yeah.
literally.
Exactly.
I love
Literally.
So it's a platform that has all
good
your
tagline.
curated products,
Yes.
things that
Will be
you guys
massive.
authentically enjoy and use.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's affiliates on the back end.
So right now we're starting off with affiliate through Amazon. And as we are able to form our community, we're definitely looking into forming partnerships with other companies, whether it's going to be beauty, fashion, skin, whatever it is. We're definitely open to working with a variety of different people. We definitely want to look into mental health stuff as well and share a bunch of different platforms for women to create, but also relate to, so that it's a one-stop shop for you to rely on, look into, and trust.
Do you guys follow Glossier at all? Like they're
Oh yeah,
I love Glossier.
absolutely.
they have. We talked about her business on Ryan's social, and she has laid a really good like path. I mean, obviously, you guys are already familiar with her, but her whole story is great. She started out as a blog.
Yeah.
Rachel?
Glossier.
Yeah.
I forgot what the blog was called, but it was super interesting. It was like, I'm trustworthy. I care about these things. Let me put it out there for free. And then over time, she had this fan base of people who trusted her. And then Glossier comes to play.
Exactly.
And I think it's also going to be important for us to like start and test the waters where if certain articles are doing better than others, then maybe we'll go into that industry more so than like a different one. So for example, if our makeup blogs are getting the most amount of eyeballs, then we'll go into makeup. So whatever the people want, we're going to try and do for them.
Mark Manson, who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck and has built
Such a good
Great
movie,
book.
like all that stuff, all these books. He was just a blogger writing a lot of stuff. And one day he wrote a blog titled The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it like exploded. And then he's like, oh, well, I guess
this
that's
is my
the one.
thing.
And
Yeah.
then turned it into the book. And then the rest is history. And he sold a cajillion copies.
Yeah.
Well, and the best part too is like Ellie and I, we FaceTime like 3 times a day. And we sit here and we talk about these real life things. Like we're both in long distance relationships and we're, you know, we both have very like in our face moms and we have things that we deal with every single day. And we have these conversations and then we're like, we need to talk about this. And then I go on my computer and like I sit there and I like reinvent this conversation that me and Ellie just had in our head. And I'm able to provide it because like you can sit here all day and be like, oh, let's talk about breakups and this and that. But like I go throughout my life every day and I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I wear to Coachella this weekend? Well, let's write an article about it as soon as I figure it out for myself. Same thing with like how to deal with a long distance relationship. Like as soon as I figure that out, I'll write it. But we talk about these things and
I don't think there's an answer. to that one.
there's not.
I think
Tough
that's
one.
the answer. That there's like, no.
But,
Just don't do it.
we just go about our lives every day and we have these genuine conversations as friends. And then we're able to put it on a screen for everybody to read. And not everyone will agree with everything, but I always wish that I grew up with an older sister and a younger sister and a very nosy mother. But I really wish that I was able to go on the internet because not all advice that you get from your friends or family is non-biased. And so it's nice to just have an outside source to trust and look at. And I think that's what we're most excited for.
Yeah, I think we're also in a time on the internet right now where everyone's trying really hard to be authentic. And when you're trying really hard to be authentic, it usually comes off as inauthentic. And so for us to like have gone through all of these things, I just like basically graduated high school. She just graduated college. We were just in it. And so we're excited to share like actual authentic articles.
What are the goals? When do we want to launch? Do we have those dates in mind?
Well, they just got the website lady to write back,
We're-
right?
Yes.
We
So
talked about end of October.
we're going to have a launch party and everything. I
Where's
think
the party? Here? San Diego? The
Here.
internet?
Yes,
Here.
we'll be there.
Oh, the internet.
Invitation.
Oh,
Here's
you're
the
right.
invite.
Yeah.
An
An internet
invitation.
party.
Show up.
The internet's big sister party.
That'd be so
Oh,
cool.
that's really
That's
good.
a
Dude,
headline.
That's fire, dude.
Oh, I love that idea.
I love
okay,
that.
We should use it.
Can we take that
Yes.
idea? Okay, thank you so
All we
much.
do all day long is market. That's really
Okay,
what we do.
thank you.
Our biggest hurdle right now is as I'm new to New York and Ellie's just learning her ropes around the city. Where the heck do we have this party? Is what we're.
Oh
so
my
we'll
God. I'll
talk
give you
later.
so many
There's so
places.
We'll talk
many
later.
places.
Yeah, Mr. Real Estate over here can definitely lend us a.
So many
But-
places
yeah.
you can do.
I can see this branching out into so many different genres of people in the world. For example,
Yeah.
like you could have one for like college kids who want to
Absolutely.
like join like extra like sororities or fraternities or clubs. Then you could do something like that's like, I don't know, it could just branch out into so
I
many
love
others.
that. That's
I
awesome.
think stay is the best advice that I think we've learned through trial by bloody fire is like stay as niche as possible. Like
I love
there
that.
is riches in niches. And And that's like that's the truest saying of all time.
Yep.
You know, I think a lot of people, like you build a big following, you're like, oh, I can do everything. I'm going to sell soap, but I'm going to talk about this. And it's the quickest way to dilute brand and turn that entire audience into just people who stand outside and watch from a distance versus really turning that audience and creating that real consumer, right? That
really good advice.
Yeah, that consumer that stays with you. And then I would also go really, really hard on what we call UGC, which is user generated content. So like taking those brand evangelists and creating like a special membership club where you're giving like the people that really, really love you the most, giving them early access to MUUZ before you go live in a month, right? So whether it's you go live, you know, in 2 months, but in 1 month, you're going live just to like your first 100 super fans and then really getting their feedback and their buy-in. And you ask them all, just like make social content with it. But then the website is just a sign up. So there's no site that you dropped yet. It's literally just a sign up so that people are like, well, I keep seeing other people that know Mia and know Ellie talking about MUUZ. I have no idea what it is. I went to MUUZ.com and I don't understand, but I put in my information anyway because it creates a fear of missing out.
Okay.
And creates that internet velvet rope effect. You should do all these things.
I love that.
We'll invoice you guys. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right after our website invoices.
All that stuff. It
awesome.
works. And I think it's because there is so much noise and stuff out there. And I like the internet's big sister, you know? And where do you live? You're in East Village?
Murray Hill.
Murray Hill. Oh, it's a classic first apartment.
I'm trying to get Ellie to move here so we can both move to like Chelsea or something.
There you go. Stepping on up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think like the first line maybe of my first book was like, so I was lost in Murray Hill, or maybe it was the Village, with, you know, recent college grad Jessica, her friend Jessica, and their other friend Jessica.
I remember.
Yeah, looking for a 1-bedroom that they were going to convert into a 3-bedroom.
Oh yeah.
And I had no idea where I was because there was no iPhone at the time. So there was no like, I had like MapQuest directions printed on paper. And I was trying to like figure out where to go. And they all got mad and they all left. And I was like, real estate's the best.
I just graduated college and all 400 of my friends just moved to New York. And that actually sounds like all of their apartments, a 1-bedroom flexed into 3, but like no one wants to pay the $8,000 to flex. And then all of a sudden you're paying your $8,000 broker's fee. And then all of a sudden you paid $20,000 and you haven't paid your rent yet.
Yeah, it's like, it is wildly expensive now.
I know.
Like I remember, like I moved here in 2006. My first apartment was 354 East 66th Street, apartment 3A. It was a 1-bedroom that half the living room was my bedroom. The actual bedroom was the roommate that had a job. He worked at Cadwallader, Wickersham, and Taft. So he was a paralegal. And then we had Dan, we split up the kitchen. Yeah. And he had
This is my friend's apartment that you're describing right now.
In half the kitchen. And then we shared 1 bathroom and it was $36.60 a month. Yeah. And we
person?
No,
honestly,
together.
That's a lot.
But it's so
for
iconic.
a 1-bedroom.
And
we
very
split it in 3.
iconic. You've come a long way.
We each paid He paid like, it was like 14 and then 11, basically. Back in the day.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's gotten a lot more expensive.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm so excited to move here, guys. Wow.
The hardest thing about getting to New York is getting here. I tell everyone that.
So true.
Get here and then
Get here.
You just need to get here.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I completely agree.
But you don't have to have a car. So you balance out all the costs. Like there is a way to live in New York City and actually live here pretty efficiently on budget.
So
like
we're
you're not paying
gonna
for
need to
parking, you're
talk
not doing
later.
a car. Yeah. Like
We'll
all
talk
that
about
stuff.
it later.
You're walking everywhere.
Yeah.
Like
It
it can be really, really, really awesome.
Yeah.
I agree.
And you're surrounded by, New York City is the most intellectually curious city in the world. So unlike other cities that are super industry specific, New York is very intellectually specific. So, and if you're not smart enough, you can't afford to live here.
I agree.
So like you got to figure it out. Otherwise the city just spits people out.
Yeah.
You know?
You're going to be fine. I see you
She's
scared.
gonna-
I see the
she's
fear
gonna
in your
keep
eyes.
up.
Yeah,
No, it's great.
seriously.
For people that want to build, that want to scale, that want to do stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just that classic Frank Sinatra quote. Like if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
And because then you
I
go
love
back and you're like, everywhere else then is slow.
Yeah.
Like when I go to LA and we do deals and stuff, or I go to South Florida, no offense to all of our other offices, but like, okay, so what's going on? Where are we at the deal? And
What
they're
are
like,
we
hey,
doing?
let's get together to like 2:00 lunch and we'll
Yeah.
talk about it. I'm like, it's 9:00.
Yeah.
Why can't you just tell me over the phone?
Yeah.
Like in New York, like it would have, like the deal would have
Stuff
been done and we would have
happens.
closed
Stuff
already.
happens.
Like I don't have time to have fucking lunch with you. Like what are we gonna talk about?
I go back home to California and I get homesick. I'm like, dude, like this is so
Yeah.
slow. Like I need to be doing something.
I
It's like
get it.
For
quiet
better
at
or for
night.
worse. Like
Yeah,
I think the
yeah,
blood
yeah.
pressure's high here.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah. real quick, this is just a fun fact because I wanted to do this. Were you on Chopped Junior?
I was waiting for you to expose yourself earlier when you said you made your debut on
Do you
TV.
think I ever talked about that ever? Yes, I was on.
Oh, I'm
Top
gonna tell
Junior.
everybody
I
from now
wanted
on.
to be-
Wait, what is this?
Yeah, I was 13 or 14. I had just moved to a new school in 7th grade, and I decided to be on Chop Junior.
Oh,
And it was
So what's it like living my dream? How was it?
Do you like
Your
to
dream
chop?
is to be on Chop Junior?
Well, I mean,
What's wrong
not
with
Junior
you?
anymore, but like,
Whatever.
I've always thought that show
You're
was
gonna be that
so
guy.
sick.
It's like, hey, little Timmy, how's
No,
that
that's
salad?
how I was too. I'm not kidding. It's so crazy just how I feel like it's a very New York thing that happened too. I was at home sick from like 6th or 7th grade, and I was watching Food Network. What else are you supposed to do when you're sick
Yeah.
at home? And I was watching Chop Junior, and my mom's like, "You could totally be on the show." I'm like, just because I make us pancakes in the morning does not mean I can be on Chop Junior. But her being the amazing momager that she is, she signed me up, and I went through so many interviews to get on, and I did it, and it
How'd
was
you
really
do?
scary. I got out in the second round. There are 3 rounds, but I got out, and my brothers were like, we were all talking about how like we thought you were gonna get out in the first round. So I am very proud of myself, especially because like the other kids were such diehard like cooking people. And I was just like, I want to be on TV. This is cool. But I mean, I also liked cooking, so it was great.
Oh,
She's a nail salon superstar.
How do you define your brand? Like if someone came up to you that doesn't know you and they say, okay, so who are you and what's your brand? What do you say?
Well, first of all, I'm like, I don't know who I am.
Is that what
Yet.
you say? You say you don't know?
I mean,
That's
if
fair,
I'm feeling
19.
open, then like, yes. I mean, that's the thing is that I am 19, so I have to give myself a little bit of a break in that sense. But I mean, I say that I am a social media content creator who mostly focuses on lifestyle, beauty, and fashion content. I also work in real estate and am just an entrepreneur in general and just trying to figure out more that I can do. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out, but yeah.
You're like a
that's an
serial
honest-
entrepreneur
That's
and
an honest
curator.
answer.
Yeah.
media
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah.
Is there a world, sorry, not to go back to MUUZ because I'm super fascinated by it. Is there a world where like MUUZ kind of just has like their own like network effect type thing? Kind of like Alex Cooper has her new network that she's launching. I think Alex Earl's part of it. You guys know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Um,
Yeah, of course.
Unwell.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there a world where like you guys get into that where you guys just like find talent, like find the up and coming Ellies of the world and like, I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Maybe.
Like coach them and mentor them.
I think that like the beauty of this is that we are so young. And so to like be able to start now and then ultimately grow, I think we see this as such a long-term thing that we want to do. And I think that that's a problem in a lot of people starting businesses these days is they think that like as soon as they launch, they're going to get so many people to buy it and it's going to be viral.
Yeah,
And then once they get like hit a certain number, they're kind of over it. And so I think that we're really excited to like grow and not necessarily expect so much at the beginning.
We've dabbled our feet in a lot of conversations about a lot of like really exciting things that we'd like to do. But Ellie's actually the one who always keeps us like grounded in the sense of like, Mia, like we don't have a website right now. And I think we always get, and I kind of drag her into it. We get really excited about, you know, we talk about these crazy, they're not crazy because I know that we'll do them one day. But we talk about a lot of things but she reminds me day by day, website, we need it. We need a
Step
website.
one. Yeah.
Let's make an Instagram account. And we started with these little things. And this morning we were looking at our website together exactly how we asked for it. And I was like, okay, let's plan the party. Let's plan the launch party.
That is a really good idea because I think me starting at not only a young age, but also at the beginning of when TikTok was really, really picking up, I think I've really seen what it takes to be a content creator.
Yeah.
So ultimately someday, probably not right now, as I'm still clearly can't answer exactly that question that you just asked
I'm
me.
curious because
but-
I meet a lot of
it's
people that
fair.
have no idea.
Yeah.
And then I also think about, okay, so where do you want to be in 5 years?
Mhm.
Like, what are you working towards? Like
Yeah.
CEO? Is it like media mogul? Is it, you know, like mapping? We talk about goals a lot and
Yeah.
really just sort of like mapping out that path.
Yeah.
Even though the path will totally change 100 times.
Yeah.
It's always great to have like, what is that, North Star that you're really kind of like moving towards that gets you up every single day.
Yeah.
Especially in today's day and age where it can feel like, all right, I'm posting more content and what's it get me? So I just think it's super cool.
I think with that also in like 5 years, for example, I also want to be more entrenched in like long-standing industries that I know can be successful. So for example, real estate, so that like I can have this career path that I know is like going to happen, and like you buy a property, you have it and things like that, so that then I have a little bit more free time to be creative. Because when there's like a lot of pressure on, again, being authentic and being creative, that's when just nothing gets done and nothing happens. So hopefully that will be in the next 5 to 10 years.
What pitfalls with social do you talk to people about, especially to young girls growing up today who look at you and say, okay, I'm going to scroll through her whole feed. I'm going to copy what she's doing. And then maybe I'll also get to 10, 11, 12 million followers, and then I can start my own business. What do you say to them?
As I feel like every kid now wants to pursue social media at some capacity. Like, I guess
so
what's that advice that you can give as like a young female who's been through your journey?
I think that similar to my story at the beginning and how like I didn't go full 100% at the beginning because I was getting hate by my peers. That's genuinely one of my biggest regrets, is listening to other people.
Yeah.
And it's, again, so cliche to say, but it's like once you're past it, a year or 6 months or even like a week past someone giving you shit. I don't know if I can swear on this podcast.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's all we fucking do here.
Fuck.
There's so much shit in this podcast.
For what you are actually passionate about, that is one of my biggest regrets. So I think like just continuing to find what you personally want to do and create your own opinions about things. It's really easy because I know, because I'm a teenage girl and I scroll on TikTok as well, to just be a follower of what everyone else is doing and not necessarily create your own ideas of what you want to do, or sitting down with yourself and literally being like, what do I want to do in the next 5 years? We get so wrapped up in our everydays and like, there's just so much content coming out at us all the time. And so to, I guess, give young girls hope is like the only thing that I really, really try to do every single day.
I love that.
And yeah, it's much easier said than done, but we're trying.
Clip it. That was great. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Wait, how did you pick the 2 properties that you bought? Like, what did you like about them?
The first property that I bought has great like street look, in my opinion. It's beachfront. I wanted to put it on Airbnb. I currently, 3 years later from me buying it, I just got the plans approved to like tear it all down and be able to have multiple properties onto one.
Nice.
So again,
has it been rented this whole time though?
Yeah, it has been rented this whole time. And
Nice.
so it's great. It's on the beach. I thought it was very pretty. My dad obviously thought it was a great investment. Same with my mom. So I was like, okay, we're full into this. The second property that I have, basically what my dad has taught me to do is go into like medium to low income areas, especially in San Diego, similar to like here. And obviously, that there's a housing shortage. And so to go into those areas, buy a single family property and then always buy a property that has a big backyard is what my dad has taught me. Put ADUs on the back and then split the property into multiple units and then get people in it as well and have that rented on longer terms. So that's the second one, which is a little bit more gritty than the first one that's like on the beach and looks all pretty. But I'm interested in doing it all.
Nice.
So
Any advice for her buying in New York City, Ryan?
yeah.
There's not a whole lot of backyards here. I mean, can't put houses in backyards. It's in New York. New York's expensive.
Yeah.
New York's expensive. Rent's expensive. The monthly costs are expensive. There's definitely good deals. I mean, like throughout Brooklyn, there's great opportunity everywhere for multifamily opportunities and investments.
I've heard that on your show.
Oh yeah. So that's there. There's lots of good opportunity, and New York's a good market at the moment. Right?
Really?
It's a good market to buy into. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll buy in New York for myself, but the next thing I really want to get into the storage unit business.
Yeah,
so
it's huge.
That's my next thing that
Yeah.
I really, really want to do.
What?
Storage, just like, so, you know, like you,
Like storage wars, like
Talk about passive
Wait.
income, like that's
It's
great.
insane.
What about that thing
You buy
we
a
were talking
warehouse.
What
and
are you
carve
talking
it up
about?
and you create like, you know, Ellie's storage, and people rent out the storage lockers.
oh,
you know,
sorry.
you know, like all those signs
Yeah, like
everywhere
that.
for all the
got
storage.
it. Yeah. I straight up thought like
Orange
storage
signs. You buy
wars.
up,
Like
like,
I'm gonna go buy
warehouses.
storage units.
Dude, you buy warehouses, you're buying the land. It's just like one huge open space that used to be used for who knows whatsoever. And then you lease it on like a master lease as a data center. And those things, or as like an Amazon fulfillment center, like that was massive. And it still is. Like owning commercial real estate, you could buy something today, and it's probably the fastest appreciating real estate that you'll see in the next 10 to 20 years.
I have a
Like,
friend who
everywhere.
purchased something for art, and he like revamped the entire place and like made it temperature control.
Yeah.
And now there's like millions of dollars of art there, and it just sits by itself. There's like a security guard, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And the
much
monthly maintenance
easier
is so
than
much
like
lower.
having
Yeah.
to deal with actual people renting out your properties and,
Yeah, just hold their stuff.
and just right? And actually figuring out.
We met these women last night and they were talking about, I think this is like a much more of an Upper East Side New York thing, but there's a whole thing in New York right now about women storing their really nice clothes in bags.
Yeah.
And then when you're ready to use it for a nice event, the storage unit is holding hundreds of people's items. And then when you're ready, they'll just dry clean it and they bring it to your front door. And it's like a multi-million-dollar business right now that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
There's
like-
no space here.
Because think about it, no one, no matter what your real estate is like, as a woman living in New York, it is very unlikely, unless you just really have it all, that you have the storage you need for your clothes. Like I had to leave 3/4 of my wardrobe in California when I moved here, and I still have the biggest closet in my apartment and the outside closet.
Yeah.
And I hear about this app, and of course I go and look it up, and like it's not in my budget these days.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's
Dry
expensive.
cleaning is expensive.
Dry that.
Yeah.
Dry cleaning is
$50
so
for 2
expensive.
shirts.
Yeah, they have there's everything on demand in New York. Like there's, you know, parking on demand, dog washing on demand. Like people will just
That's
show
what
up.
makes New York, though.
Yeah, I remember when, you know, like New York was always about delivery, right? It was always like when I first moved here, you get an envelope full of all the local menu restaurants, so the menus, so you would know where to call, and then someone would come through, and then Seamless got invented. Seamless was so big in New York, it bought DoorDash, right? And DoorDash was literally the rest of the country. Seamless in Manhattan was still bigger, and
Wow.
bought DoorDash and then took it public.
Wow.
Because the rest of the country, that like you'd have to argue with restaurants to be like, no, people do want delivery. They're like, no one's gonna do delivery, you know, and I mean they do now,
That's
but it took a long time. Whereas in New York, people are like, I don't want to go outside. Like, I don't have to walk and like go to a restaurant and like sit there and look at humans. Bring me my stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I think the most valuable thing you've ever said is buy your time. I've taken that to heart.
Do you?
And yes, every single day.
Can you
Oh.
explain?
Buy your time. It's I mean, essentially, it's just time is so valuable. If you can pay someone to deliver you the food instead of going out and spending an hour shopping for, I don't know, tacos or whatever, someone can bring it to you. Buy your time back so that you can focus on the stuff that really make you happy and make you passionate and make you
I
money.
love that.
That's why you got a driver at the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
Ryan? Something like that. It's
There's 1,440 minutes in a day, right?
Okay.
And so you have 1,000 of them roughly to be productive. You guys have a lot more because you're 19 years old.
Yeah.
Other people might have a lot less because they have 3 jobs and kids or family, whatever it might be. And so if you stop looking at time as something you're spending, like I'm going to spend my time with her, I'm going to spend my time at the office, I'm going to spend my time on the website, and really flip that mindset switch to be like, no, I'm buying that time. Right? I'm investing in that time the same way you'd invest in real estate. I'm investing in the 2 to 3 hour window, right? To get myself what? And then what is that return? And if you just do the math, it makes so much sense. So when I first got into real estate, I was spending so much time, so not money, but time running around the city on foot and in the subway. And if you start to calculate all that time, and I couldn't do work, couldn't make phone calls, right? You're just on the go. Like how much time? So 4 hours a day, you know, just in commuting around the city, showing apartments and all that. Okay, so 4 hours a day times 5, right? Times 4 weeks a month, times 52. Okay, so let's multiply that by how much money I want to make. So how much money do I want to make next year? So those hours times divided by the hour. Okay, so I'm spending how much money on running around the city? I think I'm I think I'm not spending anything because I'm saving, but it's not, right? It's so it's not a cost. It's actually a savings to really invest into your time. So I got a car, I got an Escalade and a driver that I could not afford whatsoever, like terrifyingly couldn't afford. But I was like, yeah, but I can always abandon the car and just fire the driver. So I'll figure it out. But as long as I make sure that I literally just bought those 4 hours a day back, I bought them back. Now I can sit in the back seat and I'll just do work the whole time. So as long as I don't play games and goof around and all that, you actually have to work. All I have to do, and then I calculated how much more money I have to make to afford it. So I have to do 3 more average sales a year to afford the driver and the car. And that's it, just 3. And I get 4 hours of my life back a day. So instead of spending the time, let me buy the time back. And then from there, it was like the nutritionist. So I don't ever have to think about food and so on and so forth.
He's a robot.
That's why my Uber bills are very high now after I met Ryan.
I love that.
Yeah, but so then you
No,
look
but
at like Uber and you look at how much you spend on Uber, and it's like you're doing it because you want to save the time, but
Absolutely.
it's a major expense to the benefit of Uber.com versus what it might cost for you and Chase or you and another agent to say, hey, you think about building your business the same way I do. Why don't we both go in on a car? So to lease a car like that is $800 a month, right? All we have to do is 1 extra rental deal a month. To get a driver is X amount of dollars, right? We can run it through a payroll system, and that person can then also help us with other stuff. All we have to do is 10 more deals a year together. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, you can always abandon it and fire it. I swear to you, if you do that in the city, you never have to think about anything. You will multiply your business that way. Same way with hiring employees. Like we always hire employees before we can afford them.
Really?
And I talk to founders all the time who are like, well, with every X dollars in revenue, then I can think about going and getting that employee. But I'm like, that's like captaining a ship without anyone to row it. Like I want to make sure I have people rowing it so I can actually move forward and continue to grow. Like when we decided to start up studios, before it was studios, it was me and Adrian. We're like, okay, there's only so much Adrian and there's so much editing we have to do.
I was like, do I need people?
Right. We got to find more people. And I'm like, how much does it cost? If I think about the money, then you'll petrify yourself. But if you think about the output, right, and the work that it's going to come from it, you grow into the staff. Like you'll grow into the work. And if you take care of the work will take care of you.
Yeah.
That's a great,
really good
that's
advice.
a
I love
great
that.
end.
We're
That
full of
is.
great advice.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
Thanks
we
for
need,
being
like
here.
the
we need 5
concept-
employees to write all of our articles for us.
What you guys should do is invest in a video editor for your social media and TikTok.
Yeah.
You're going to have to focus more on the business. That's what I just recently did. And it's like saved my life.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you find that person? If you don't
I'll
mind
tell
me
you later.
asking?
I'll tell you the
Okay,
secrets.
sounds good.
He
So
knows
great.
people.
There's
He
so many
knows
people.
guy.
The guy that leads property tours for us, who leads that whole department, Cody Boone, is 20. How old is he? 21?
21.
He just turned 21.
He's
When he
turning
came to us,
21
he was
next
19, 18?
He DM, 18. He was 18.
Yeah,
when he DM'd me.
there's so many people that follow
Is
you
this
right
your
now.
Instagram Reels guy? Who
No.
follows you around the house?
Diego.
That's
I
Diego.
love those.
Yeah,
I
Diego.
get so excited. You keep me on my toes. I'm like, what room are we going into next?
Exactly. Yeah, Diego. No,
We're
that's
just going to
Diego.
the bathroom.
He's around here somewhere. No, but Cody, and it came through DM. Like there's a lot of people, you just put out a notice. And like we talked about it too, like, following the Gary Vee method of just kind of going out there like, hey, we're building a business. If you like me and you want to build a business with us, we can only pay so much. But we're looking for a content creator or this. I'm going to put a link in the bio, send us your information and send us a video on why you're the right person.
Love that.
You will get 99% insanity, but that 1% is real.
Yep.
And you're not like posting job ads or anything. You're just engaging your fucking audience.
Getting them
Let's go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so true.
I'm
I
gonna do this
love
for
that.
you. I'm ready to go.
I'm not kidding. That's really, really great advice because we already have had people like DM us and say, I see what you're doing. I really want to help. And we don't know whether or not to trust it or not. So video idea is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that. Do the video so that you know that they're not totally crazy and where they are.
Yep.
And then you also put people on, you have like apprentice programs or you have, kind of trade programs like, hey, let's do this for 2 weeks. Like something that we do with every graphic designer has always been, I guess we used to do it with video until we got as big as we are now. And then you guys are people have just more content, but we would do like a 1 week trial period. Keep your job. Don't or stay in school wherever you are, but like a 1 week trial period to make sure like we like you. And that if you tell us you're going to do something by Tuesday at 5, you do it. Because you don't want to run into the situation you have now where it's like, this will take 3 days. 3 weeks later, you're like knocking on the door.
Yeah.
That's like, you can't work with that.
That's kind of how we did it. You're like, let's that sounds weird. And ask them, you're like, let's date before we get married. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Always.
So true.
Always
It's
date before
important.
you get married.
It's important.
Yeah. Date lots of people at the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe
That's
we
the best
change that
advice. If you
analogy
remember
a little bit.
anything from this, take away that. Well, listen, we're super excited about MUUZ. Everyone should go to it. I don't even know when this comes out, but just be aware. Go follow these two. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being on the pod.
Thank you guys for
Thanks for
having
having
us.
us. You guys actually inspired, I think, both of us a lot
Yeah.
today. So
That's,
We
that's the
needed
whole
this.
reason we do this.
We
We
needed
don't
this.
care about the viewers. It's just about you.
We care about the viewers.
Well,
we
we
care
just
about the
care
viewers. We
about
care
staying
so
here.
much about the
Yeah.
viewers. Jeez Louise.
Okay, bye.
All right, great. That was great.